Welcome to the Tinfoil Rabbit Hole. My name is Steve. I am coming to you, of course, from deep down within our tinfoil rabbit hole. This podcast is brought to you by the Insensitive Network. You can find it on their website, insensitivenetwork.com, as well as on Spotify, Spreaker.com, iTunes, Google Music, and others. Be sure to subscribe for the latest episodes. This, of course, is the midweek episode, so it's Sans Persona, no White Rabbit. He is still doing his research for his new shows, which are released every Saturday. And of course, the midweek episodes are really geared just towards some headlines and interesting tinfoil bits that I've come across and felt like I should share with you. Episode 8.5, This, That, and Corona Stuff. I was actually doing the research for this Saturday's White Rabbit show, and I thought that while I had a little bit of time, I would give you guys some information on some things that I've come across just doing some research. Found some interesting. I found an interesting set of videos that I am going to play at least one of, and while I'm continuing to do the show now, I may decide to toss in two. There's actually four. One of them has been deleted and I can't find it. The first one that I'm going to play for you is I actually cannot find on this individual's YouTube channel at all. And then there's a part 1 and a part 2 video. Each one is only about 10 or 13 minutes long, and I may play both of those. I may actually drop those two videos in a separate episode, maybe tomorrow. See how much time I have after I finish the White Rabbit show, recording that for this Saturday. While I'm thinking about it, this whole quarantine thing here, I miss my hockey, man. I really do. I miss my hockey. I can't necessarily say that I miss my team, but I miss my hockey. And truth be told, my home team is the Sabres, the Buffalo Sabres, who actually, they probably may have squeaked in as a wild card spot. I'd have to take a look at the stats again. See, I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any hockey. There's no reason to even look at the stats. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm not sure what the NHL is planning to do with their hockey season. I hear that Major League Baseball is potentially weighing playing some of their games or all of their games with some of their teams or all of their teams in a stadium or a bunch of stadiums in Arizona. Not really sure. Haven't looked too much into it. Not a big baseball fan. I know that the PGA, I believe, has moved most of their tournaments to the end of the summer and early fall, and I have not heard what the NBA is doing. Looks like the NFL is moving their some of their stuff virtual. I'm not an NFL fan either, but I hear that they're looking at doing some virtual drafts or training camps or workouts or whatever it is that they do. So, yeah. Let's see here. The stock market. I see the stock market today. Looks like the stocks are, looks like the Dow's up about 285 points. It's very interesting because I'm not sure, and I haven't done the research on this, but I'm kind of curious because it seems to me like under President Trump, the stock market has had the most number of the most number of gains, biggest losses, biggest point percentages, ups and downs, and high marks, and it just seems like there's a lot of records that have been set while Donald Trump has been in office. So I'm sure, I think generally overall Wall Street likes him. I think his policies they like, which has a lot to do with that. So, that's an interesting little tidbit there. Speaking of interesting little tidbits, For those of you who are Fox News fans and are unaware, something you can do a little bit of research on, just some of the strange stuff that I come across as I'm doing my research for shows. Shannon Bream, B-R-E-A-M, Shannon Bream. She is a Fox News journalist, and she has a show at 11 o'clock in the evening on Fox News. Interestingly enough, Shannon Bream also happens to be a bikini model. So there's something that you can Google out for yourself. But she was actually Miss Virginia in 1990 while she was attending Liberty University. And for those who already have stereotyped her because she was a bikini model, she's also an attorney as well. She became a top 10 finalist at Miss America in 1991, and then while she was studying law at Florida State University, she participated in Miss Florida USA in 1995 and won that title. She then went on to participate as Miss USA in 1995, and she came in fourth. I'll tell you, in my book, for what it's worth, I think she should have come in second, but what do I know? Let's see, what else do we have here? Daylight savings time. I'm actually looking at the clock. Daylight savings time. Can we just be done with messing with the clocks, moving them forward, moving them backward? Can we, decide on a time that it should be, all year round? I'm completely down with leaving daylight savings time the way that it is right now. I know here in the Northeast, 8 o'clock at night, still kind of, I guess you would call it twilight. It's kind of dark. You can still see the sky is illuminated, but it's not completely, black yet, and it's actually kind of nice. So I'm thinking that we should probably leave daylight savings time the way that it is. I know that for going years back, they adjusted it, and it seems like our answer to an energy policy at one point was just to keep playing with the clocks, but I'd really like to see daylight savings time just stay the way it is for now. A couple other quick things here too. I see I'm recording this episode. This is 0.5, so for those of you who were quick enough to realize and listen to the show, the last midweek episode I did where I explained the point revisions, 0.5 makes today Thursday. And with that, I'd like to wish everybody a happy last Thursdayism. For those people who aren't aware, last Thursdayists are followers of the Church of Last Thursdayism. And as followers of that church, they believe that the universe was created on Thursday and will expire on Thursday. They believe that the universe was also created by you as a test for yourself, that you will be rewarded or punished when this universe expires based on your actions here, that left-handedness is a sinful temptation, and that everyone but you was placed here and pre-programmed to act as part of your test environment. The kicker is that everyone knows all of this except, of course, you. So, happy last Thursday. Alright, so I'm going to play for you a video that I found while doing some of my research for this week's White Rabbit show. I came across this video from a gentleman whose name is Dr. Rashid Buttar, and he is a doctor down in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. Now, whether or not he still practices medicine there or he's someplace else, I honestly don't know. I did not do that much research on him. However, I did watch his videos, and he has some videos on his website that are fairly interesting. He also has some very interesting approaches to the medical profession and the way he practices it as well. He has a few of his videos that have been removed from his YouTube channel. YouTube has taken them down. So you can discern a few things from that, but usually when YouTube has removed videos like that, you can probably rest assured that they somehow disagreed with what the general consensus should be according to YouTube, and therefore were deemed unworthy and removed by YouTube. to give you a little bit of background, I'm just going to read to you what I have here in front of me. Rashid Buttar is an American osteopathic physician from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's known for his controversial use of chelation therapy for numerous conditions, including autism and cancer. He has been reprimanded by the North Carolina Board of Medical Examiners for unethical treatment of his patients. His website, Centers for Advanced Medicine, offers treatment for issues such as general detoxification, age management, and a bunch of other things here. In March of 2020, he released a multi-part video, COVID-19 Virus Conspiracy, ? Suggesting that coronavirus was being used to distract from toxic emissions by industries and companies. They go on to give some of his biographical information, kind of irrelevant. The videos that I'm going to play for you are the ones that are relevant. The video that I'm going to play for you in this episode is a video that I believe has been taken down from his site, but I was able to I came across it as part, like I say, as part of some searching. I was not searching specifically for Dr. Buttar. This video came up under somebody else's website, and I snaked the audio from it. So you're going to hear some audio drops inside this video. And when you hear those audio drops, more than likely, Dr. Bashir in the video has said either virus or conspiracy, COVID-19, or coronavirus. And that those 3 or 4 phrases or words are probably what got this video removed. The other thing to note too is that this video was edited on this individual's channel where I got it from. I'm not going to say whose channel I got this from. One, because quite frankly, they don't pay me to advertise for their channel. And secondly, because I don't like dropping channel names without at least talking with the channel owner first. However, I did find this video interesting and thought that I should bring it up to a little more. Well, I thought it was interesting, and I just thought that I should share it with you all. So with that being said, I will catch you at the end of this video. I'm going to play the whole thing for you here. It's roughly about 10 minutes long. So with that, here we go.
This particular video is about the scientific corruption that you as the public must realize. I'm going to present the information to you and let you decide whether it constitutes corruption or not. You be the ultimate judge. This was orchestrated. We have the scientific evidence from 2015 showing that the research was done, the gain of function components were done by the scientists in North Carolina that then went back to Wuhan. The US government and the Chinese government paid Dr. Shi to fund research in. There's an underlying implication here that's very subtle, but the only possible reason for this modification is the creation of. There are no other plausible explanations. Now that sounds a little far-fetched, I agree, but wait, you're going to understand. Because when you start understanding this furan cleavage component that we're talking about, then it starts to make a little bit of sense. But why would somebody do that? Or how can we prove that somebody actually did that? So we're going to talk about that. Now this was actually created at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, and they published the highlights of the creation in November 2015. In 2014, Dr. Shi was the recipient of a number of U.S. government grants as well as grants from the National Basics Research Program of China, the Chinese Academy of Science, the National Natural Science Foundation of China, and from the Strategic Priority Research Program of Chinese Academy of Sciences to assist in funding research into. Now this is, remember, 2015. So they took SARS, the virus that caused SARS in 2002, 2003, and that was carried by bats, making the rounds back in 2003, and reverse engineered the genetic coding itself inside the virus. And they took the backbone of the original wild type, and that's when they started messing around with it. They then inserted additional proteins to enhance the efficacy of the virus. inside the human lungs, specifically inside for the human aspect, making it extremely difficult to vaccinate against because a new has multiple proteins with which to attack. So basically what they did was they made a bug into a super virus. Let's hold off, let's not panic, because what I want to show here is how the scientific community that knew about this, and yet they're sitting here making stuff. Why are they making this? And why are they doing gain of function? Why is University of North Carolina involved with this? Why are we funding? Why is the U.S. government funding this research on something that we thought had already disappeared? Why are they trying to get gain of function? Some people say, well, they were just experimenting, they were doing whatever, but they were actual other scientists that opposed this information. They did not want these studies to be done because they were afraid of a breakout. They were afraid of what the ramification would be if there was an outbreak, if it was not contained. So this was not something that was obscure. There were some very well-known people that were against this. What would be the purpose of doing such a thing? Well, it'll become self-evident here in a few moments. This is going on from 2003 to 2015 now. They were looking at the SARS component from 2003, that caused SARS, and they were now manipulating that, and they published this manipulation study. After they manipulated it, they published it in this 2015 paper, and they created this hybrid, which is far more deadly and can't be vaccinated against. It is resistant to vaccination because of certain morphological changes that were created to the wild type backbone. The new DNA, genetically engineered, constitutes a gain in pathogenesis. Now I want you to remember what gain in pathogenesis means, okay? Or gain of function is the term that they use in virology, or actually in research. So gain of function. Okay, here it is. That's a gain of function right there. They admit it. Gain of function basically means taking something and making it more potent, all right? So pathogenesis means lethalness and the infectiousness of something. The pathogenesis is the cause of the actual problem, cause of the disease. And Dr. Shi learns how to perform gain of function operations within viruses, and then she returns to her post in Wuhan, China. So she learned this in University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. They get the cells from Fort Detrick, and now she goes back to Wuhan, which is where the techniques that she learned about gain of function were then applied. Fast forward to November 2019, a breach of containment occurs at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and patient 0 is detected somewhere between December 1st and December 12th. Dr. Shi is one of the authors that published this paper in January 23rd, 2020, stating that it is of probable bat origin. The problem is she knows what it is and what the origin is because she was the one who created it. Okay, she helped to enhance it. This is an enhanced version of the hybrid that they helped develop at UNC with Fort Detrick support back in 2015. Why would you take any kind of organism and make it more potent? Why would you take a bug, a bacteria, and make it more potent? Right? What's the purpose of that? Well, they say it's for research purposes. But why would you do research to make something more potent? Why wouldn't you do research to make something that's not that bad anyway, less damaging, but they're making it more potent? They're doing gain of function studies. This is a gain of function study on, this is what created it. This is a gain of function study that was done on a specific strain of called the SHC014 strain. Scientific review panels may deem similar studies building chimeric based on circulating strains too risky to pursue. It's just amazing to me that this has been happening. Studies testing hybrid in human cell cultures and animal models are limited in what they can say about the posed by wild. Dasek agrees, but he argues that they can help indicate which pathogens should be prioritized for further research attention. Now that's the most absurd statement, because they're saying, okay, it should be limited, but you know what? It can help us to prioritize further research. So we need to make these superbugs so then we can then warrant our research to go and look at these superbugs and how they affect the human system. How about doing something even a little bit more effective and not create the damn superbug in the first place? Like, you really need to create a superbug and then try to see how it should be prioritized, so they can help indicate which pathogens should be prioritized for further research? I mean, that's the most absurd thing to say. We're going to take a bunch of different, and then we're going to see which ones we can create the most potent chimeric changes to, and then once we create this chimera, then we'll go ahead and it'll warrant our priority to which we should really work on focusing on. Well, don't create these super bugs in the first damn place, and you won't have to worry about which one you need to prioritize. Bobby Kennedy said that there were 3 countries that are naturally hostile to each other, which is China, Taiwan, and Japan, and all 3 of them independently concluded that it originated in the United States. Yes, they did. I just showed you the evidence of that. Now, Trump reportedly growing frustrated with Dr. Fauci's blunt approach. I wonder why. Because Trump knows certain things. He knows what's happening here based upon, you can see his cavalier approach. But essentially, he's the one who's out there saying, whipping up the story about the China batch. The government in the United States and China funded it. And then this Dr. Shi went back to Wuhan. And then, of course, it got released, or there was an outbreak in Wuhan. But where did it all start? It started here in the United States, in North Carolina. So here's something that was posted today, just a couple hours ago, from a TV station, I believe KSAT. Breaking news, first related reported in San Antonio. Now, here's the kicker. This is the family member, Ashley Zara Farrell, of that person. It says KSAT 12 and KSAT.com. I must say I'm highly disappointed at your lack of facts. My grandmother did not pass away at San Antonio MMC. She passed away at a local inpatient hospice facility. Remember, hospice is for people that are terminal, that are going. She did not pass away from, she passed away from Alzheimer's that she had suffered from for the past 12 years, and a case of aspiration pneumonia that worsened her ailing state. Shame on you, KSAT. Again, the media is hyping this crap and scaring people. They're not reporting the facts. They're not reporting the truth. They're lying. Now, there's a lot of people talking about the misinformation and then saying it's misinformation, it's controversial, but they're not really looking at the science. I want you to remember that this is not the first time this has happened. This was Lyme's disease in the 1990s, SARS in 2002, XMRV in 2009, MERS in 2012, Ebola in 2014, and Zika in 2016, actually H1N1 in 2010. I just want people to know that the agenda is highly, highly suspect. Be aware, don't be paralyzed by fear, because this is part and parcel of their agenda. All right, there's 7 toxicities according to my philosophy, and they have hit 6 of those 7 toxicities. The 5th toxicity being emotional, psychological. That's what they've done with this hype, by creating the hype, by creating the fear mongering. That is affecting people on an emotional, psychological level. I know this was a long video. I hope you understand the significance of this. Pay it forward, pass it on, let people know the truth.
And there you have it. The first thing that I should probably point out is, as I mentioned earlier, the video is highly edited, and there isn't really any way to tell. Well, there is, but there's no way to tell definitively that the video itself wasn't edited and pieced together to push whatever agenda it is that the channel owner wanted to push. However, if you were to watch the video, the lighting is the same. The doctor in it is clothed the same. The lighting is the same. So if it was edited, it was edited together from one video to make it sound like it really is. It also appears that he contradicts himself to some extent between whether or not this thing is a superbug, as he refers to it, or the result of maybe 5G technology, which he mentions in the video as well. 5G is also mentioned in some of his other videos. Interestingly enough, the channel where I actually pulled that video from does not have it up as of 5 minutes ago from recording this either. So between yesterday and literally quite now, that video is no longer available from that YouTube channel. I haven't checked the doctor's channel to see if his other videos surrounding the coronavirus are still up there. I'll probably check that out later. Suffice to say that I've learned my lesson a long time ago that when you think something is controversial or is going to cause controversy or is going to go against what the mainstream media or the internet giants or whoever it should be is going to be contrary to what they want you to believe. There's a pretty good chance that there's going to be some censorship. So with that being said, I do have these videos. I did grab them, so I do have a copy of them stored away. Whether or not I will put those up for you to see, not sure. I'm sure that if I put them up, I'm reasonably sure that they're probably either at the very least going to be blocked. And I'm not sure if I'm prepared to have my social media accounts take that kind of a hit at this particular moment, but we'll see. You're probably going to want to listen to that 2 or 3 times, and because it is, again, a little hard to follow. And I think what I'm going to do is, rather than just comment on the video now, this podcast is already up to 25, 26 minutes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find the third video in the 3-part series that he did. I do have 2 of those videos. I am searching for the third. Hopefully I'll find one somewhere out there. And then put all of them up and comment on them further from there. So in any case, it certainly is a tragedy, and many lives have been lost. I think it's upwards of 50,000 or so at the moment, and that truly is sad. I guess the question at this point that some people are raising is whether or not this was something that was man-made and preventable, or whether this was truly something that evolved from a natural means and is something that we're just going to have to fight for the foreseeable future. We'll see you Saturday, deep down inside the tinfoil rabbit hole. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this episode. We also have merchandise that you can check out. Again, that's insensitivenetwork.com. You can take a look at our great merchandise with our wonderful logo. Love the logo. Looks great. Also, don't forget to visit insensitivenetwork.com, and you can find some great other podcasts there. Happy Ever After Party by Sam. It's a wonderful program. If you like this one, I'm sure you're going to enjoy that one. This is Steve for the Tinfoil Rabbit Hole.
Where the hell is Tesla?